Behind me is a whiteboard, and on my hands I have a pen. Guess what I'm gonna do? And today's topic is about how to be financially stable by 40 years. I'm gonna take you step by step, slowly, until you understand what exactly can you do by the time you're clocking 40. You'll be financially stable. And maybe if you're watching this video and you're already past 40, you feel like, then it's not my video. No. It is your video. What you can do is you can ask yourself, incorporate, or you can just use the information I'm going to teach here and say, hey, by the time I clock 60, by the time I clock 50, it's the same. So anyone can watch this video. Let me save your time. Let's go to the next point. But I'm ready on my side. Are you ready? Have you, like the video, and have you subscribed, by the way? Because I do post a video each and every day. All right? Let's get into the business now. So say you would like to get yourself by 40, you're financially stable. Assuming, like, let's say you are 20 years, or maybe you're 30s or something of sort, or you're nearing these 40 years old. Now, what exactly can you do so that you be financially stable by this age? The very first thing that you're supposed to understand, by 40, there are some consequences. By 40 years, there are some consequences that you're gonna face if you do not get yourself financially stable. Can you imagine this? This is the age that probably you're having a kid who is going to high school. And this time you meet those guys who did something in your life, in their lives, and you're telling your kids, hey, do you know we schooled with that guy? And you have nothing to show. And the kid is like, it's only that they can't call you an idiot. But basically you'll be like an idiot to them. Yeah, sure. The point is, before you reach 40, and we always say this, from 20 to 30, make sure that you do what? Try many things. Try many things, okay? From 30 to 40, do what? Learn from somebody or follow somebody. Follow somebody. Don't pick a roll of people all around. That's why I discourage people from having 2 or 3 friends at 30 years old and above. No, you're supposed to have one or none. Or one. Let's say one. Let's just say one, okay? From 40 years and above, from 40 years to 50. You're supposed to do that what you understand. Do that what you understand. You don't have time to try many things and out there. So, and the most discouraging is when you hit 40 and you do not have that thing that you can do for the sake of your life. You're trying everything. Last time, by the way, I received a call from a guy who is 55 years old. He told me, hey, Joseph, I want to learn graphic design. And I was like, what? Graphic design at 55? Yeah, I heard people can actually make some money out of it. Let me not stress on that. Now, here you are. Before you hit 40, this is what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to understand your numbers. Never, ever approximate things on how you survive by your life. You're supposed to understand your numbers. What does it mean? You're supposed to know, hey, I make this amount of money. This is what I channel towards my rent. And by the way, my rent takes like 10, 15, 30, whatever amount of money in terms of the percentage of what I earn. Hey, I make this amount of money, or this is the amount of money I channel towards my black tax. This is the amount of money that I channel towards an investment. This is the amount of money that I usually channel towards my savings. This is how my emergency funds looks like. So once you understand your numbers in all those aspects, and by the way, I have 1, 2, 3 debts, and this debt I actually got them in terms of me investing it, not just taking debts and buying, or taking loans and buying carpets, buying yourself shirts and clothes and what have you out there, sort of funding the consumables. You see, if you understand your numbers well, all right, you're gonna achieve a lot of things as far as the finance is concerned. And by the time you're hitting 40, you not only have money by yourself, but a whole experience behind your back. So the first thing that you're supposed to do is to understand, or let me just say, know your numbers. Know your numbers, okay? Know your numbers. When I ask you, hey, how much do you usually channel towards your food? You're like, maybe unless I ask my wife, I'm not so sure about that area. My friend, that's pure ignorance. Pure ignorance. Those things should be at the fingertips, should be at your fingertips. You should understand them. Let me tell you one secret, and maybe this one may sound a little bit funny. Wealth of any human beings starts with the kitchen. I'll repeat, riches or wealth of any human beings starts with the kitchen. What do I mean? You see, when you do not have enough money to sustain your family, you always wonder what they're gonna eat, like how much goes. You see, these guys who are less fortunate in terms of the finance, they know everything about their numbers sometimes when it comes to kitchen, how much go there and all those kind of things. But the moment you realize the kitchen is no longer a bother, you can eat not what the money is dictating, but what you want. I feel like I don't want to eat some roasted beef at night. You can eat it. You can afford it. You see, the moment you realize there is excess, the moment you realize like, hey, some 10 or guys can show up in your home and you can feed them without any problem. You see, let me tell you one secret. The moment you realize there is stability in the kitchen, maybe you're watching this video from the Western world, you think like, what is he talking about? Yeah, maybe you've never faced that problem. But if you be in a situation whereby you cannot even give food, forget about clothing. You know, you can be full and you're naked and it's okay. All right? So the point is this. Well, it's not really okay as per se, but at least, you see, for example, if you were to put all the three things in the hierarchy of priorities, we start with food, then we go with clothing, then we finish with shelter. That's a fact. There's a reality, no matter how you can debate it. So the fact remains, the moment you realize you've conquered the challenge or the problems of the kitchen, that's the time you start to freshen up, you know? You start to be stable in your mind. You can actually think out loud there. You can actually try to tap opportunities out there. It's like having 10,000 on your hands and you guys, you do not even have a shopping for the food. But the moment you realize I have 10,000 and I have shopping for the food, you can even dare risk this 10,000 because, hey, at the end of the day, these guys will eat. They may not be able to wear Gucci, yeah, but they can be able to go and try this amount of money out there. So it's good to understand your numbers. That's the very basic thing that you ought to have. You ought to know, you ought to understand as far as the money or finance is concerned. Understand your numbers. Number two, understand that nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is having a plan to save you. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to save you. You see, the earlier you accept this, the better. Why? Because, hey, government ain't gonna solve your problems. So this issue of actually going there and following all kind of a politics, thinking that if you elected, you know, person A, not B, not C, not the other, maybe you could be nothing. Just shake that off. Shake that off. Nothing. That's gonna not solve you anything else out there. The problem is that you're gonna have some bitterness in your life and all those kind of things. So the point is, make sure that you understand nobody is coming to save you apart from you. Number three, poverty starts in your head. Make sure that you understand the perception, how you view things, and maybe the people whom you relate to, whom you hang around with. What do they tell you? What do they do? What have they achieved? What are you guys longing to getting? Those kind of things are the things that will make you understand, hey, guess what? The money is in variety, in its plenty out there. You eradicate what we call the scarcity mindset. Have you ever met this kind of a guys who tells you cannot make it in Africa? You have to go to abroad to make money, then come back in Africa. For my case, I can actually identify several people who have never even got out, not even Africa, out of Kenya, and they are rich, they are wealthy, they have money. And by the way, they are not politicians. I know you might say, hey, but they have some connections with politicians. No, they are not connected. They're not politicians. It's only that you be aggressive, you be out there, do as much as you can, you know, and do not rest until, or do not rest. They say what? Don't rest when you're tired, but rest when you do what? When you actually get what you're looking forward. So at that time, so we've understood your numbers. Nobody is coming to save you. And again, make sure the hosts whom you hang around with are people who actually talks about investment, talks about opportunities, are people who talks about whenever, maybe let's say, for example, in Africa, we sort of face some challenges of, there are flooding, you know, sometimes not flooding. The same place where we explained the flooding, the next round we realize there's something called like a drought or famine or something of sort. So it is good you make sure that in each and every storm actually benefits each and every, or not really each and everybody, but at least there are some people whom it benefits. So before you hit 40, learn to invest early. The other thing is that learn to invest early. You see, if you learn to invest early, you're gonna get yourself in a situation whereby, hey, you know what, you've tried different things. Can you imagine this? You've never tried to invest, you only know being employed and get your salary, go back home, eat your money and all those kind of things. But if you can learn how to, hey, guess what are stocks, what are shares, what are index funds, what are MMF, what are unit trust, what are balance fund, bond fund, you know, what are circle shares, what are those things, what are ETFs? You know, if you try to actually be out there, try many things, ask. And whenever somebody tells you, hey, you can actually try this, provided it's a legit and legal thing, go ahead and try it and see how it goes about. All right. So if you keep on pressing different and many buttons along the way, you can actually accumulate a lot of experiences. That's exactly, and that's why we say, hey, old age in most cases is actually associated with experience. And that's why we tend to listen when the older people are talking to us. Why? They have been on this earth for more period of a longer period than we are. Probably we assume that they have actually pressed different buttons, so they already know. They can actually save you a mess type of, they can save you a lot of time, and they can as well actually, you know, sort of save a lot of your money. For example, they can tell you, hey, don't try do that because I tried it before, I didn't make it. By the way, if you're gonna go ahead and do it, don't do the way I did it. You can actually try and do it differently. You know, they always ask yourself, how can you have a 60-year-old experience at 30? The only thing you can do is to by reading books relating to those people, share the experiences and all those kind of things. All right. So it is good to make sure that at least you try different things, different things, and learn to invest as early as you can. So by the time you clock this age, you've already known. Because at this age, these are the people who we don't encourage them to keep on trying different things and all those. No. At this age, see, if you got yourself into real estate, just stick to that. The only thing you can do is just to have a diversified portfolio of investment. But this is not the time to try, those things like you're starting them from scratch or something. But when you're 19, 20, 22, 23, way up 25, these are areas whereby you can even decide to sort of hibernate for the next whole year. Get yourself a computer, internet, and learn about coding. Get yourself a computer, learn about digital marketing, learn about affiliate marketing, learn about, those kind of things. But you cannot tell somebody at 40 years, just go to your house, get a computer and internet, hibernate for the next whole year. This dude has some families to feed. This dude has some school fees to pay. This dude probably has a lot of debts, because as you grow old, actually responsibilities tend to increase. So at that particular case or scenario, you ought to understand, hey, guess what? Try as many things as you can. But what if you're in this case scenario whereby you're in between to 40, maybe you have some like 5 years. I gave a certain video here, and actually you can check it out there. I told you guys, she can actually make a whole financial sacrifice and a change within 1 year. Only 365 days can actually totally transform your life, provided you apply the required procedures. And we give a very case scenario. I gave the case scenario of 3 individuals with respect to how much they usually earn there. So if you actually go ahead and use exactly that, you can do something. And by the way, don't despise 365 days. That's quite a long time. That's quite a long time. You can actually go ahead and transform your life. You can actually make or break within that year. By the way, do you know one thing? Within the same year, 365 days, that is, you can actually become an addict over something. Yeah, it doesn't need to take you 10 years. Within 365 days, if you start smoking, by the time you clock the 31st of December, you're already an addict. By the time you do that, because we have a way we transform our body. We usually say 21, 61, and 91 days. Within the 91 days, you're gone. You already have a character. That's the reality. So the thing is this, don't think like, hey, I'm at 37th year, I'm at that 8th, I'm at that 9th, I only have 1 year to reach 40. I feel like I'm late. No, you're not late. You can actually transform and change your life within that period of 1 year. So now, the last one but not the least, if you want to be financially stable by 40, is to make sure that you do not largely feed your emotions. That's a reality. Don't feed your emotions. When I say feed your emotion, I simply mean like being out there. Whatever somebody talks about savings, sacrificing and denying yourself, you talk about life is short, you only live once, why would I do this, and all those kind of things. Don't view life that way, because if you view life that way, you're gonna get discouragement. You're gonna get yourself in a situation whereby things are not running out properly or correctly. The thing is this, it is good when you focus much on the logical things. And I always tell people, hey, guess what? We do have 2 organs in our body. We have our heart and we have our brain. And these 2 different organs actually approach money differently. The brain tells you, hey, guess what? No. Let's not use this amount of money. I mean, I think is okay. What sense does it make, by the way, you're acquiring that thing? Okay, you want to buy that property? Okay, fine. What are you looking forward into doing with it in future? Okay, oh, okay. You want to buy that car? Oh, wow, okay. You said that you wanna, save some transport. Okay. How much, by the way, are you starting to save? By the way, oh, you see, you involve the logical aspect of you, but when it comes to the heart, it's like, oh, come on. When was the last time you got to Coast? I mean, come on. When last time did you grab that expensive coffee out there? Come on, just go. I mean, come on, treat yourself. I mean, life is short, by the way, after all. I mean, if you were to die today, I mean, that money gonna be consumed. But some guys whom even didn't participate in your, accumulation. I mean, why don't you go out there? Come on, just call your friends. Just buy them beers and do it. Come on. It tells you the thing. And by the way, in most cases, let me say over 85% of people on earth, the heart wins. That's the reality. Heart wins. Most of them follow the hearts. Their feelings, their emotions, and all those kind of things. That's why whenever they feel that their comfort is being disturbed, their heart tells them, hey, don't listen to that guy. He's actually telling you not truth. Okay? So the thing is this, always incorporate the logic. Always incorporate that what questions you on what you do out there. Anyway, guess what, guys? That marks the end of my video, but don't forget this. My number is forever on my description of this specific video, all right? And also have my email there. You can take that email, shoot me an email. Let's talk business. You can grab my booklets. I mean, we are about to go to New Year. Grab my template about savings, and we can move to the next level. For now, it's a goodbye and see you In the next one.